All right, let's jump right in. In the next few minutes, we're going to crack the code for crafting business messages that don't just get read, they get results. Let's do this. You've totally been there, right? You spend all this time writing what you think is the perfect email or proposal. You hit send, and crickets. Or even worse, it gets completely misunderstood. Meanwhile, some people just seem to have this magic touch where every single thing they write lands with clarity and impact. So, what is their secret? Well, it's not magic, it turns out. It's a method. And this chart pretty much gives the secret away immediately. Just look at the difference. The best writers don't just write differently, they prepare differently. They spend a huge chunk of their time planning before they even think about writing the final draft. So, what are they doing in that critical planning phase? Let's pull back the curtain and unpack their exact blueprint. It all boils down to a simple but seriously powerful three-stage framework that guides pretty much all effective communication: plan, write, and then review. Think of this pyramid as our roadmap. We start with that big, solid base of planning. Then we focus in on the writing. And finally, we polish everything at the very top with the review. So let's look at the goal for each stage. Planning is all about making sure your ideas are solid, that you get the content right. Writing is where you focus on delivery, the right tone, the right style. And review, that's your final quality control, making sure the message is perfect and actually hits its mark. Okay, let's dive into the most critical stage of all. We're going to go deep on planning, because like that first chart showed us, this is where the experts really win the game. And the secret weapon for mastering that planning stage can be boiled down to one simple, easy to remember acronym: AIM. This is the tool that's going to help your message hit the bullseye every single time. So, what does AIM stand for? It's audience analysis, knowing who you're talking to; information gathering, making sure you've got your facts straight; and message development, shaping your main point. If you can master these three things, you're setting yourself up for success. Let's tackle them one by one. First up, audience analysis. And let me tell you, this is the absolute non-negotiable starting point. It's about making a huge mental shift, getting out of your own head and stepping into your reader's world to understand what they really care about. So how do you actually do that? You ask the right questions. What's in it for them? What are their core values? Do they even trust me? How are they probably going to react to this? And hey, who else might end up seeing this message? Answering these questions first shapes everything else you do. Next up in our AIM model is information gathering. But here's the trick. Experts don't just collect a random pile of data. They structure it. The key is to sort your info into three very specific categories. First, you've got your facts. This is the raw, objective stuff, like sales are down 15%. Then you have conclusions. These are the insights you pull from the facts, like, okay, our current strategy isn't working. And finally, that leads you to your positions, your actual recommendation, like, we need to launch a new marketing campaign. When you build an argument this way, it's pretty much bulletproof. And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle: message development. It all starts with this one powerful challenge. Can you boil down your main point, your primary message, into 15 words or less? I know, it's tough, but it forces you to be crystal clear. Once you've got that core message nailed down, you build your argument around it. Most of the time in business, you'll use this deductive structure you see here. You lead with your main point, bottom line up front, then you support it with your key arguments and evidence, and you finish with a really clear call to action. It's direct, it's efficient, and it respects everyone's time. Okay, so our AIM plan is locked and loaded. We are ready for stage 2, writing. This is where we make sure our brilliant plan doesn't fall flat because of bad delivery. And a huge part of great delivery comes down to tone. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. It's the vibe, the attitude that comes through in your words, and it completely shapes how the reader feels about you and your message. Check out this example. The version on the left uses all this exaggerated, over-the-top language like completely change and unimagined. Honestly, it can make you sound less credible. But the one on the right is confident, but it's also measured, significantly improve. It's just so much more believable and professional. Here's another classic mistake: negative framing. The statement on the left starts off kind of defensive, telling you what something isn't. The better way to go? Focus on the positive. Tell them what it is. It shows the company is employee-friendly. That's a proactive, positive frame. Oh, and this one is critical. The I voice, I would like, I want. It can come across as pretty self-centered, right? But watch what happens on the right when you shift to a collaborative we voice or an audience-focused you voice. It instantly makes the tone more respectful and feels more like a team effort. Okay, you've planned with aim. You've written with an impactful tone. Now for the final stage, the one that separates the good messages from the truly great ones, the review. And your review process should have 3 key steps. 1, get feedback. A fresh pair of eyes will catch things you totally missed. 2, run it through the FAIR test. Is it based on solid facts? Is it accessible? Have you thought about its impacts? And is it respectful? And finally, number 3, proofread. Seriously, don't let a silly typo ruin all your hard work. So we're back where we started, but now this chart makes perfect sense, doesn't it? That giant block of planning time, that's the AIM process in action. And that extra time for reviewing, that's the final polish. This isn't just a chart anymore. It's a strategy. It's your new game plan. So there you have it, the expert blueprint. Plan, write, and review, all powered by the AIM model. It's a proven process for getting results. So the only question left is, how are you going to use it to plan your very next message?